Hi, I'm attorney Chris Reich, and in this video I want to talk about what's been going on with the Arizona Motor Vehicles Division, or MVD. So back in April, the MVD upgraded their entire computer system. So they went dark for a few days, and I think it's about April 17th, they came back online with a whole new system. And they're trying to push drivers to do all of the MVD services online and not at physical locations anymore. And now they will require you to make an appointment if you actually want to show up to a physical location. This sounds great, sounds more efficient. Nobody likes waiting in line at the MVD, but this has created all sorts of problems. And I want to kind of cover some of the problems that we're seeing with the MVD currently. One, we're getting a lot more calls about people having problems with their driving histories. So this transition to the new computer system seems to have created a lot of glitches or bugs in the MVD computer system. One thing we're seeing is traffic survival school problems. So basically, if somebody's ordered to take traffic survival school to avoid a suspension, they go ahead and take it, they take it on time, and then they still get a letter saying their license has been suspended. So there seems to be a problem with traffic survival school completion getting noted in the MVD records, and then people end up calling us and we try and help them sort that out. Uh, but that's hard for another reason that I'll get to here shortly. The other thing we've seen a little bit of, and I don't know for sure if this is a bug or not, but we get a lot of traffic calls. So we've been getting a lot of calls from people out of state who had a traffic violation in Arizona like a long time ago, some of them going back to the 80s. And this all started happening after the computer update. And it's almost like old violations are kind of springing back into life and then creating problems for people who have out-of-state licenses. Um, for example, we get people, they've renewed their out-of-state license multiple times since they ever had a ticket in Arizona. And then now they go back to renew it, and there's a license hold coming out of Arizona related to some old ticket. And this seems to be some sort of computer database glitch. The third thing we're seeing, so in Arizona, there's a criminal traffic violation called driving on a suspended license. It's a misdemeanor violation, and if you're convicted, it doesn't result in any further action on your driver's license. In the past, a long time ago, there used to be an additional license suspension if you were found guilty of a driving on a suspended license charge, but it hasn't been that way for a long time. But since this computer update, we've had people who get convicted of driving on a suspended license, and then their driver license motor vehicle record reflects a suspension as a result of that conviction. And again, this is an error. And every time we've reached out to the MVD, they have told us, oh, that's just an error, but we keep seeing this happen over and over again. Hopefully they'll get that fixed soon. The bigger problem is when these hiccups arise, it's very difficult to resolve them with the MVD right now because you can't physically go to an office. Third-party motor vehicle offices, those little private companies that are licensed to do MVD transactions, they can't do license reinstatement. So if you're dealing with a suspension issue, you have to deal directly with the Arizona MVD. And since you can't go in person, that means you have to call them on the phone. And because they've been having all these glitches, this is resulting in major problems getting a hold of somebody with the MVD. A lot of times what you'll call them up and you'll just get a message about high call volume, and they'll say they can't help you, and it'll hang up on you. And you've got no recourse other than to try to keep calling. We've had clients eventually get through into hold and been told there are 400 callers in front of them. I mean, we're talking huge call numbers. When we try and get through, we're experiencing the same problem. We either get hung up on, or if we are lucky enough to get in hold, we're on hold for easily 45 minutes because there's so many people ahead of us. And it seems to be kind of random. Sometimes we've had luck calling first thing in the morning at 8 o'clock, or just try calling throughout the day and hope that you hit them in a slow time where you can actually get through to a human. Arizona MVD is trying to move all their services online. They've created a whole new website for this called azmvd.gov. Okay, again, sounds good, but this is a government website and it's buggy. So problems that exist here are if you don't have an Arizona credential, like an Arizona driver's license or ID, you just can't use this website. Even if you do have an Arizona credential, you might not be able to use this website. If you have login problems, or it thinks you already have an account but you never set one up, you're stuck back trying to call somebody on the phone and get somebody to help you. It's not a good situation with the online access. So another problem is reinstatement fees. If you have a license suspension and you clear up everything that's causing the suspension, you will most likely need to pay a reinstatement fee to the MVD. In the past, you could just go online, pay this fee, you didn't have to create an account or anything like that. Now, the only way to pay that fee online is through the azmvdnow.gov website. And again, here, so if you don't have an Arizona credential, or if you're having problems with your account, you can't pay that reinstatement fee, and you're going to have to try and call somebody on the phone. As an attorney, we also can no longer pay people's reinstatement fees. In the past, when you didn't need an account or didn't have to log on, we could just go on there and take care of it. Now we're no longer able to do that. We can't even call and pay reinstatement fees for our clients because the MVD just won't take payments from anybody other than the driver. The final thing I want to talk about are the changes to the driver license motor vehicle record, or your driving history, your driving record. In the past, again, you could go on, didn't have to create an account to get this. You can still do that for now. You can still get your driving history without creating an account, but it looks totally different. And I think this is the result of the new computer system. So in the past, they were fairly straightforward. They'd show your violations, show your license status. For each violation, there'd be a court code, so you know which court the violation came out of if you're trying to figure out why something was happening or why there's a problem. The new driving histories don't tell you what court it's out of, so you don't know where to go to resolve it without having to call the MVD again. Sometimes the violations appear on there in multiple locations. This makes it really confusing to try and figure out how many violations you have. It's not just in one spot with whatever action. Other problems we're seeing, kind of mistakes. I talked earlier in the video about suspensions for driving on a suspended license. That's a computer error that's causing those to show up. But even when it gets fixed, it's showing up on our clients' driving histories. So again, these driving histories no longer are really a very reliable indicator of your license status or what's going on with your license, what problems there are. Now we have to basically call the MVD and confirm what we're seeing. I guess to another problem. This is probably a result. I've just explained how what the records we see are unreliable, and so the MVD records appear to also be unreliable. We will call the MVD for the same problem 4 different times and get 4 different answers about what's going on. So again, it's a mess over at MVD. I can only imagine what's going on behind the scenes, and I have no idea how long it's going to take them to fix it. Hopefully soon, because it's causing a lot of problems for drivers out there.